Hey everyone, happy Monday. Welcome to #AskRobCo. Hope you all had a good weekend. Hope you're all safe and sound. Very excited to have you all here for what is the first in the #AskRobCo webinar for graduates, students, young surveyors, young professionals, aspiring professionals, students, MRICS, APCs, all of you out there in the business and property world. Thank you for joining. Really appreciate it. Today's all about you, so I need your questions. You got the button on the right-hand side where you can type in your question. If you send the question over, I'm going to do my best to answer the question. So it's all about Q&A. I can see some of you have already been sending the questions through. Thank you, Christopher. Welcome, Avinash. Welcome, Ben. Welcome, Penny. Welcome, Jose, Jess, Kylie, Leo, Matthew, Natalie, Nick, Oliver, Rebecca. Rebecca with a C, Rebecca with a K. Ryan, Sabrina, Samuel, welcome you all. William, Tatovic, nice name. Kulu, welcome. Alex, welcome. Lots of you all coming in. Thank you for coming. Deva, welcome. Thanks for your support, Deva. Hopefully I'm saying your name right. If I'm saying it wrong, send me a message. Welcome, Denise. Welcome, Daniel. Welcome, Helena. Welcome, Holly. Charlie, Harrison. See Richard's in the room. Okay, welcome all of you. Thank you very much. So we had a really good webinar the other week, the RICS webinar. We had something like 1,400 people registered, which was pretty sensational, and quite a few of you registered into that. And following that, we received hundreds of emails, hundreds of questions, and really I just want this platform to be a platform for you to ask your questions, and so I can add some value and add some insight. We've got a great team here in the room. We've got Dan, Alice, who are going to help with the webinars moving forward. And basically, we just want to add value and give you some good content. I know quite a few people are overseas. We've got Spain, Gibraltar, quite a few European cities and countries, India, Malaysia, Singapore, late nighters there. So thank you all for joining. I'm going to give you a bit of context, a bit of history of who I am. So I'm Rob Cohen. I'm in my 27th year now as a practitioner in real estate property. 12, 14 hours a day, 6 days a week. Across that time, probably 100,000 hours, absolute specialist in my field, which for the record is valuation as a chartered surveyor. So all of you who are interested in valuation as a specialism, please do let me know. A bit about me, a bit about my history. So as I said, I'm in my 27th year now, but I was born in London. I was born into a second generation immigrant family. I was the first person in my family to get an education, so very lucky, very fortunate to go down that path from a very, very young age, 6, 7, 8. My parents would have taught me that I need to work, need to earn money, so they installed a really good work ethic in me. I think many of you that are either first, second, or third generation immigrant families will know that that's how you're brought up, and work ethic is everything, and you've got to stand on your own 2 feet, you've got to be independent. So that was one of the core things that my family kindly installed in me. And then as time went by, I did paper rounds, I washed cars, I cut gardens, all of the jobs that I'm sure most of you have all done. And then at the age of 17, I got my first job in agency and property, doing estate agency, which was really fun. I did lettings, sales, property management. And then I started to do my building surveying degree at Westminster University. So all of you who are from Westminster University, welcome. And I did a 5-year building surveying degree because I was working part-time, working full-time, so doing my degree part-time. After that, after qualifying, I was very fortunate, very lucky to get a position at CBRE. And I think we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about all these stories further down the line. And then further into my career, headed up the international valuations team at CBRE, set up MJ Group. Now, I think we're looking at least 13, 14 years ago. And really, I just want to help the younger generation, the young professionals, people earlier in their career, you know, in their teens, 20s, 30s, that really want to progress. I want it to be a nice, open platform for all of you, share my knowledge, share my wisdom, share my insight, and help things move forward. So that's the intro. Thank you so much for joining, bit of context. And now we're going to go straight into questions. And let's see if we can really help the audience and get you all with us. So Alice, what have we got? First question.
First question is about employment. Someone's asked that the hiring process for many graduate programs is very competitive. How do you make yourself stand out?
Okay, graduate programs are very competitive. How do you make yourself stand out? That's a really good question. So I do believe that perseverance and persistence is a key quality that you need to have at a very early stage in your career and your lives. So for me, I would have kept on writing all the graduate programs, all of the big firms, CBRE, Knight Frank, Cushman, Savills, Jones Lang, etc., all of the globals, wrote to all of them, asked them if I could get on their program. I would have called them up, I would have messaged them, everyone and anyone I would have reached out to try and get an opportunity. So perseverance and being very persistent is one thing that you can do. And remember, every opportunity is an opportunity. Every knock on the door is a knock on the door. And every no is one step closer to yes. And I don't think you should ever get comfortable with not getting an opportunity, not getting an opportunity, not getting an opportunity. You've just got to realize that you just got to keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing until someone gives you that opportunity. Now, perseverance and persistence is one thing, standing out is another. So for me, and maybe this will come to a shock for a lot of you, but for me, I would have said to all the firms that I was looking to get a role in that I would have worked for free. Why did I say that? Because I appreciated that at graduate level, education is everything. And so when you go to a big firm and a multinational, it's all about learning. And so they're paying you to learn. So you could look at it the other way around, say, no, they're paying me to work for them. But that's a different mindset. My mindset was, they're paying me to learn, because the education and the platform that I get from being a graduate will allow me to develop my career, become an expert, a specialist, and grow from there. So I do think that being really willing, pushing yourself, perseverance, and keep on knocking on the door, that allows you to stand out and then take the opportunity. For me, it was, I'll work for free, give me a chance. Really good question. All right, next question.
How do I make my application stand out to an employer?
Okay, making application stand out to employer. I think that's a good one. I think it's a bit similar as well. I think Chris from Glasgow, what CV resources would you recommend specifically for graduates and real estate roles as well? I'm working towards my RSSAPC. So CVs are really good questions, and CV resources. So listen, my view on a CV is that I interview everyone because I do think it's challenging to stand out amazingly on a CV. What I would say is you want to really reflect who you are and be really true to yourself, because even if you've got a standout CV and you get your foot through the door to an interview, if your CV isn't a reflection of who you are, it's not your truth, then it's kind of like a lie, or it's not the reality. And if that's the case, then why did you put it there? And am I speaking to the real person, or was this a fake document? So it's all very well looking for that standout CV that will get you through the door. But if the CV isn't a reflection of who you are and what you represent, then you're going to find yourself in a really difficult position. So for me on CVs, it's just really truthful, understanding your strengths, putting them out there, what you love, what you're passionate about, being really motivated, really excited about an opportunity, about your career, about learning, about helping. Helping is a massive key. I think we've created a handout, giving and helping. That's the message for today. I'm going to be giving you all messages. So somewhere you've got on the link on the right hand side, if you press the handout button, you'll see that. If I get the feeling that you want to give, you want to help, you want to learn, you want to work hard, if I see that in your CV, automatically I think, oh, Chris, he's a good guy, he wants to work hard, he's got some good core values on his CV, I'm going to interview him. What he then does in the interview is down to him. So I do think sometimes people get a bit confused about having this show-stopping CV. But if you're a graduate or a young professional, you're only just in the industry, you've only got limited experience anyway. So the best thing you can do is share what you stand for, what you represent, your values, your honesty, your integrity, your morals, etc., etc. So really good question there. All right, next question.
So Charlotte has asked how to juggle studies, APC, and employment.
Charlotte, great question. Question to my own heart. Okay, you're going to like this one, Charlotte. So you do everything. Okay, so when I was doing my APC, studying, working, relationships, sport, family, friends, social life, when we weren't in lockdown, I literally didn't sleep. So I'm not asking you not to sleep, but I wanted to do everything. I wanted to do my APC, I wanted to study, I wanted to work, I wanted to have a social life, I wanted to have friends, I wanted to have a relationship, I wanted to have family, I wanted to go out to eat, I wanted to play sport, I wanted to play football. I wanted to do everything. And so there's only X amount of time in the day to do everything, hence your brilliant question. For me, I just gave up on sleeping. So I'd be up every night till 2, 3 in the morning. And then I'd be waking up at 7, 8, and I would have done that for 5, 6, 7, 10, 15 years. Now, obviously, health and well-being is a priority. So I'm never going to send you over the edge of working 18 hours a day if you're not comfortable doing that, if it's not healthy for you, or if it's not what you want. But if you want to do everything, like you've said in the question, then do everything. There really is enough hours every day, 18 hours a day to do everything if you only need 6 hours sleep. Or if you need 8 hours sleep, 16 hours a day to do everything. And you can more than enough do everything. It's a horrible truth of what I'm telling you, but it's the reality. It's the real practical reality. You can do everything you want. There's enough time in the day to do everything, but you've got to want to do it. It's got to be your priority. Or you can watch Netflix for 3 or 4 hours a day, or you can be on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram for 3 or 4 hours a day. That's your choice. There's nothing right or wrong about it. But you then can't complain and say, I don't have enough time to do my APC when I spent 8 hours on TikTok and Netflix.
So next question is from Jordan, and he asks, the MRICS APC have many routes to charter status. How do you make a final decision what route to choose?
Okay, another one of my favorite questions. Really good question, Jordan. I chose the easiest route, the one that I thought I was going to qualify the quickest, or the one that I thought that the questions were going to be easy for me to answer. So I understood halfway through my APC, I was doing development, a development pathway, and then I switched to valuation. Why? Because I was doing work in valuation. I quite liked it. And every day I was learning something in valuation. So I thought there's no point in me doing planning and development when I'm not doing so much planning and development work. I might as well switch to valuation because I'm working in valuation. It feels quite easy for me, and I quite enjoy the subject. So I kind of understood what pathway and what competencies were involved in development and planning and evaluation. I thought, and then I said, okay, the competencies for evaluation are more aligned with what I like or what I may be able to answer easier, and so I'm going to go down that path. So I think it's a really good question. One, you want to think about where it's going to take you moving forward. So what pathway is the pathway that you might want to develop and working, but also the pathway you enjoy, the competencies that are involved. So I think that's really important. The balance of what you're going to be doing in your work, to the competencies involved, and what you've got the practical skill set to be able to do well at. So if all the competencies are really hard and difficult and they don't suit your skill sets, then it's better to do a pathway that suits your skill sets and you enjoy. Next question, Alice.
Okay, so Charlie asks, what are the challenges of running your own business?
Okay, so running a business is ultimately taking responsibility and being a leader. And anyone that runs a charity project, a community work, is in a football team or a sports team, heads up a project, an area of work, is a family member, a brother, a sister, a mother, a daughter, anyone that has a leadership role understands they have to take responsibility. And ultimately, when you're running a business, you have to take responsibility and take responsibility for everything. Every single thing that goes wrong in a business that you're running is your problem. And when it goes wrong, my problem, your problem. So ultimately, you have to want that responsibility. And ultimately, you have to realize that it's all in your back. So I love that. I love the pressure and the excitement of having that responsibility. I also love taking care of people and giving to others and helping others. And so I see leadership as an act of service and a role where you help people. So I see my role in running a business is I'm really lucky. I get to work with hundreds of people and I get to help, give, and support. So that's the way I look at it. Everyone has a different style of leadership and management. So there's no right and there's no wrong. My style is all about helping, all about giving and taking responsibility. And ultimately, my job is to work for everyone in my environment. So that could be employees and staff, and it could be customers and clients. My responsibility is to work for them. Next question, Alice. Yep. Okay, so let's carry on. So many questions. Let's go to Kylie. Just a question I asked previously, which could be interesting to some others. Do you foresee that industry practices will be changed following the situation and dependence on digital or remote working, or will it revert back to the way it was? So, good question, Kylie. So, I think if you're smart and you're innovative, I think there's going to be an opportunity and an added value to help in that area of doing things differently. So the ones that go back to how it was, great, good luck to them. But imagine you've got a smart idea of how I can work from home, how I can work digitally, how I can use technology in a better way, and that will help the industry and business. Well, that's a brilliant way to bring something forward. So it's not just about accepting the way things were and going back to the way they were. It's all about looking to the future and innovating and coming up with ideas. So I do think 50% will go back to the way it was, or maybe even more, but 50% will realize, isn't this such a brilliant way of learning, sharing a platform, creating ideas, doing conference calls, doing meetings, being productive, traveling less, helping the economy, climate change, sustainability, all of the great things that can be done from home without traveling, or using technology and digital platforms. I think there will be changes, and really positive changes, but I do think that's an opportunity for you to think about that and think about what value you can add. So good question, Kylie, and keep thinking about that. You're obviously thinking about it, which is why you asked the question. So if you're thinking about it and you ask the question, maybe you've got a good idea, and why don't you share the idea with us, and I'll see what everyone else thinks of that. Okay, Douglas, as a new member to the profession, congratulations, studying building surveying. Where would you recommend as a good source of news to keep up to date with the industry? Okay, so I think LinkedIn is amazing. Everything within the RICS, everything on LinkedIn, property journals, Property Weekly, Estates Gazette are great. You've just got to consume. Webinars like this are great. You've got to be on a pure consumption mode. You've got to be reading and looking at all content, everything there is out there. Definitely journals, definitely the RICS, and definitely everything that comes up on LinkedIn is great. And just consume as much as you can. Helena, after I graduated from my master's, I worked at a startup property consultancy. I now have left after 3 years. I gained experience in a variety of areas, which I feel was individual and brilliantly. But the small team meant I had no structure, training or guidance and work, and very little in my APC. I am keen to obtain a concrete basis and knowledge to learn good practices, and keen to learn from someone with experience. Is it too late to apply for a graduate program? The answer to that is never too late. So it's a good question. When I started my career, I didn't have so much structure in my training. And so I learned some really good skills, some really good soft skills that most of your competitors won't have. So you've acknowledged that. You've made it clear that you learned some brilliant things. You're in a small team. Being in a small team means you had to do everything, you had loads of responsibilities. And so that's 50% of what makes you really good now, and you're ahead of the game on that. So all of the other graduates that you're competing with don't have the professional experience and expertise that you have. So you're ahead of the game in that sense. But as you've also said, you don't have the structured training and the disciplined programming that you would have liked, which you're looking to find. So I completely resonate with you, Helena, and it was very similar to my path. And so reach out there, persevere, put yourself forward. I think you've got a lot of value add to give. Experience is amazing, and everything as you move on in your career. So actually, instead of saying no from someone else, put yourself out there and make someone say yes. And I think you'll definitely find somewhere. You've got to understand your strengths, and you've got to understand that actually you've got brilliant 3 years experience with a small startup that taught you so much. That means when you go to a bigger firm now, your basis and your foundation as a starting point is well ahead of the game. And that's really good for you. So you're coming from a position of strength, and you're in a really good place. The only thing you're saying in your head is, oh, they might not want me. Is it too late? Of course they want you, and it's never too late, ever. Even if you're 50 or 60, it's never too late. I don't know how old you are. So you kick on, move forward, and you're definitely going to find something. Ryan, how you doing, Ryan? Thanks for joining. Struggling to hear Alice. Can she speak up? Okay, we'll get Alice to speak up. Penny, how to be happy? That's a good question. So being happy is a very broad question. It's very individual and it's very much a life question. For me, as I said, I love helping, I love giving, I love the process, and I love the journey of life, business, the industry. So for all of you graduates, for all of you students, for all of you young surveyors, for all of you doing your APC, for all of you doing your MRICS, for all of you professionals in your career, you've got to love the journey that you're on, knowing that you're going somewhere and hopefully knowing that you're progressing and growing. It's not all about the day I qualify as a chartered surveyor is the day that it's over. No, that's the day it begins as a professional, and then you've got a long career ahead of you. You know, it's all about the journey and all about the process. If you don't learn to love working really hard, getting your degree, doing your APC, getting your MRICS, getting your MRICS, moving up a company, becoming a specialist, becoming an expert. If you don't learn to love that, then you're not going to be happy, because it means you're doing something you don't like. So I suggest you reflect on what you're doing every day and start enjoying the process of studying, learning, having interviews, getting your qualifications, getting a job, meeting new people, learning new experiences. Like, you've got to be happy with that. And if you're not happy with that, you're in the wrong business or you're in the wrong industry, or you've got to find something you are happy with. I mean, it's such an amazing question. And literally, we could do a whole show on happiness, because ultimately it's the core and the key for everything. There's no point, everyone listening, spending 15, 20, 30 years in this business, in this industry, if you don't enjoy the process and don't love what you're doing. You need to find something else that you do love or will make you happy. Me, I can do this all day and all night. I could sit with you all on the call and answer every single question 24 hours a day, because I love it and I'm passionate about it. That doesn't mean you will be. You just need to find what you love and you like. Diva, thank you for joining. Really appreciate your support. Quick question here. Explain about automated valuation models and valuation professionals increase their reliance on AVMs going forward. Okay, automated valuation modeling. I think it's a really good area. In America, they have a lot of it. In the UK, it's moving more. I would say for homogeneous generic product, automating modeling and valuation is growing, and that's very data and technology driven, and there will be more reliance on that. So it's just a lot of data, a lot of intel gets thrown into a machine that gives a figure. It's an automated figure. The margin for error should be low because the model and the data is so good, and people will lend money against that valuation, which is automated, usually at lower levels. So I think that's great. High risk, high lending specialist work, the models won't work to the certainty and reliability. And so I think that there'll be more reliance on generic bottom end product. And as we move forward, specialisms and high risk stuff, I think there'll be less reliance. Esther, thank you for joining. Can you specialize in other competencies down the line after becoming chartered? Yes, definitely yes. And to every single person, listen to me strongly now. Specialisms are the key, and have 2 or 3 different specialisms once you've chartered. Why? Because the world moves. Diva's just asked a brilliant question, says automated might take over valuations or do more valuation. So then there's going to be less work for valuers unless you're a specialist. If you're a specialist, you're going to be able to have work. If you're an expert, you can have work. So everything moves. You could be in rental accommodation, student accommodation, nursing homes, caring homes, petrol filling stations. Find your specialism in the industry, learn what you love, become an expert at it, but make sure the market wants it, because there's no point being a specialist in flowers within the property industry where no one cares about flowers in the property industry and no one is going to buy your services. Whereas if you love equestrian centres, or if you love country homes, or if you love farmland, and that's a big market, and that's your specialism, and people want that, happy days. So specialisms is the key. It's another key to happiness. It's another key to finding your path and then dedicating the next 15, 20 years in an area that you love. So please do always be open to specialisms. My career has been based on specialisms that I love doing, which is why I can dedicate so much time and so much effort to it. And I definitely think you've got to go down that path. Okay, well, 30 minutes has absolutely flown. I definitely haven't got through all your questions. This is going to be a weekly thing, so please subscribe. We're going to do it every week. Invite your friends. Hashtag AskRobCo. I am sharing with you 27 years of professional experience in the industry, 100,000 hours that I've dedicated, and I want this platform to be the opportunity to give back to you. I want you to flood me with questions. I want you to call into the show. I want to speak with you. I want to help you. I want to help your friends. I want you to have amazing careers. I want one of you to come back in 1, 3, 5, 10, 20 years and say, because of this webinar, my life changed and I changed hundreds of thousands of people, and the property world or the real world was better because of it. And thank you so much. That's my oxygen. That's my drive, giving and helping you, helping everyone that's turned up. So I'm super grateful. Have a safe week. Have a happy week. And I will see you all again next week. And everyone, take care. Thank you.